Episode 46. Omori is enjoying a nice break after that long battle with Titan. Well, not that long. It was a dirty one though, owing to the fact that Titan is an Earth elemental deity. Probably a very dusty guy. So enjoying a bath after that is probably a good idea. Komori would probably stay longer, but it's not a good idea to keep Ishtola waiting. Who are you anyway? That boom of the Magitech armor. Can't stop hearing it. See how my hand shakes so? Used to be that I'd pinch myself on my face. For sure and certain. At least I'm clear of that. Guess a lot of people come here after battle. Or after scars of war. Ah, this is the wrong outfit. Using the tombstone from the most recent event, I went ahead and bought some of the gear that you can get from that. They seem to match the horns, or at least the color I put on the horns quite nicely. Well, this is far too casual for any kind of business that we're going to get up to. Let's get back to our usual gear. Speaking of clothes, I'm hoping my laundry, or my dryer, can't be heard in the recording. If I hear it later, when I'm playing the audio back, hopefully I can at least edit it out, or noise gate it or something. Otherwise it'll probably just be a constant annoyance. Well, I'm not going to worry about it too much, I guess. If things end up the worst, then I'll just mute the audio, at least the voiceover audio. My commentary isn't that important. No word will already have reached the Maelstrom Command. Protocol requires that a representative of our order inform the High Commander of the mission's success. The honor is rightfully yours, Komori. Once again, I must commend you on a job well done. We shall speak again soon. Oh, I guess Ishtola is making us do the dirty work for making her wait again. At this point I could begin the summoner quest, but after spending so long away from the main quest, I want to continue that. At least a little bit longer. Where we are level-wise, it is probably good to pick up the new job for the extra abilities it gives you, as well as where we are story-wise. We're above level 30 now in the main story quest, so you could say that it's expected that you would have the higher level job abilities going forward. But that's not too important. I think you can do plenty as an unupgraded job. Enough anyway to the end of the main story in this base game. It is good to see you, Private Moriko. Word of your triumph reached me some while ago, but I'm pleased to have it personally confirmed. First defeat and now Titan. Truly, when I think of your achievements, I feel the loss of the warriors of light less keenly. There can be no greater compliment than that. You and your order are heroes. Suffice it to say, we are glad to have a scion in our ranks. I shall relay the details of your report to the Admiral forthwith. Please send my regards to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Until next time, Private. Tomoe, this is Minfilia. Bishtola has informed me of your success. You have won a great victory for the people of Eorzea, one that shall not be forgotten. And what is more, both you and Ishtola emerged from Orgrimmar unscathed, while Tataru and the others seemed as glad of that as they did of Titan's fall. You can look forward to a hero's welcome. We'll be awaiting your return in the Waking Sands. There is much to discuss. Godspeed. Though I suppose we do have some new quests that unlocked. I guess progressing in the main story got us this. Here we go. The other PvP thing that I was missing from the other unlocks at the Wolves Den. I guess you get it from here. That makes sense, I suppose, considering it's faction related. You're familiar with what transpired at Cartano 5 years ago, ain't you, Private Marco? I don't mean the god's damn moon cracking open, and that twice damn primal raining hellfire upon us. Even folk in the Far East heard that tale, I reckon. What I'm wondering is how knowledgeable you are with regards to the aftermath. When the Eorzean Alliance saw fit to settle in and jointly administer the region for the foreseeable future. Waste of time, money, and men, most say. What with nothing of value in Cartano Flats, eh? That's the story to which most folk have been privy. The truth, of course, being a fair bit different. In case you ain't in the know, the Primal's rampage laid bare these Allegan ruins, which no one had the slightest inkling existed prior to the calamity. It didn't take a bleeding genius to recognize we'd found something important, and that we'd be fools to let it fall into the wrong hands. So the powers that be declared that we'd protect and study the ruins together, and so we did, until now. Limsa, Minsa, Ulda, and Gridania have all formally asserted a claim to the territory. The time for talk has passed. The time for action has come. That being said, we'd be a sorry excuse for an alliance if we let this one issue divide us. So while there'll be fighting, it'll be in accordance with the rules. All hostilities shall be confined to the disputed territories, and engagement shall be fought to submission, not death. Remember that when you're on the front line, Private. Beat a man within an ilm of his life, if you must, but see that it goes no further. You'll be joining the fight, won't you? A soldier with your talents would make a tremendous difference. What's more, you'd be doing the nation a great service. At least speak with our man on the airship landing before you decide one way or the other. Think on it, Private. That's all I ask. And I guess there's some hunt stuff, which isn't PvP, but more endgame, as indicated by the level. Suppose we'll come back later for that, but I doubt I'll do any hunting on screen. Maybe one time, if I ever get to the more recent hunts in the current expansion. Are we able to promote just enough seals to be a second class private? Or no, first class? And the next one we need 4,000, but we still do not have deliveries unlocked. Once we get those, we'll be able to turn in all of the gear that we get from dungeons that we don't use, such as these lower level gear that we've outgrown, the green ones, as well as the ones that we don't wear for whatever reason, or can't wear, like these weapons that I'll probably never use. The airship, right. I believe this quest takes you to the airship because this PvP mode was unlocked before the Wolves Den even existed. I might be wrong about that though. Can't imagine why this isn't in the Wolves Den if that isn't the reason. Private Moriko, come to join the fight, have we? Very good indeed. Now, before we proceed, I must warn you, this isn't going to be like some jaunt in the Wolves' Den. Unless this dialogue changed, maybe the Wolves' Den did exist at the same time. Oh well. You'll be pitted against wave after wave of fellow Alliance members in battle, and they won't care one whit that you're the Warrior of Light. This campaign will be long and brutal, and victories won today may be undone tomorrow. Consider the borderland ruins. You need only seize control of each ruin in the region, right? Wrong. Defense is paramount as well, for our rival will muster forces to challenge our claims. It's for that reason we have established an airship route direct to the front line. Those who are ready and willing to fight will never want for transportation. But that look on your face bespeaks confusion. Are we at war or not? What is this bollocks about no killing? What in the seven hells is going on? That's what you're thinking, yes? It's less war, and more organized violence to resolve a territorial dispute. And yes, it is to be civilized violence. Killing Alliance members is strictly prohibited, though accidents have been known to happen, mind you. But you of all people have nothing to fear. You've escaped certain deaths more times than I can count. What are the odds you'll fail to do the same this time? Frontline is PvP. Of course, it's going to be the large-scale PvP that I'm not too fond of myself. I'm sure there's some strategy to it, but these kind of large-scale engagements are something I could never wrap my head around in terms of my own personal contribution to the affair. I'm sure if you go in with a group of people that know what they're doing, like a clan or a guild or something, then maybe you could work something out, but I wouldn't know anything about that. Even in the smaller scale engagements in the 5v5 modes that I'm more used to, sometimes I feel like I can't really do anything, but I can at least recognize when I'm doing something wrong. In Frontline, the couple of times that I've played it, not too sure about it. Of course, the whole story that they put together about the Alliance battling over some scientific advancements there from the Elegant Ruins is really just an excuse to have some PvP between the factions that they set up. This isn't really a spoiler or anything, but as the story goes on, there isn't really any importance to the factional disputes or anything like that. Doesn't really matter who wins or whatever. What is going on out here? Okay. Was that screaming I heard? I'm not sure I want to know. You hear that commotion just now? What in the seven hells were they doing in there? Wrestling a place? You look like the adventurous type. Mind taking a quick look? This one is glad, walking one is safe.
We'll be awaiting your return at the Waking Sands. There is much to discuss. Godspeed. Thank heaven she is safe. Louisoire, do you see? Your light shines brightly in this one, and in time, it will illuminate the realm once more. Oh!
Advance no further!
We have come for the one who slayed Ifrit and Titan. Bring her forth, and you may yet know mercy.
Confound it. Stay out of sight. I would leave a message with you. I surrender myself, on the condition you spare the innocents.
Conditions? There speaks the Supreme Sire. I'll grant you have courage, but you would be better served by armor.
Search all you will. The one you seek is not here.
So it would seem.
And yet you knew to look here. But how?
Hold that thought.
No!
Conditions of surrender. Denied.
Cease at once!
Have you not done enough?
Perhaps. Enough. We must away. Though we have not found our quarry, the High Priestess of the Scions should suffice for now. They say she also possesses the Echo. I cannot wait to hear her scream. I said enough! We leave. Bring the prisoners.
Walking one Minfilia. SS12. In case walking one returned, this one was to say. At church in Eastern Thanalan, walking one must claim sanctuary. This one tried to protect walking one Minfilia from Imperial ones. Forgive this one. Save. Never did forgive the Garlean Empire for killing Neuraxia. Everyone else here. There are more faces and characters with names that I recognize now. The nameless vendor who stood in the back of the side room, offering to sell things and mend your gear. The Alamegan guy, older gentleman who pointed us in the right direction to Little Alamigo. A few other scions that were probably bantering with each other at one point or another in the side room. I think we're done with Awaking Sands at this point. And we still have 62 tickets. Is there something troubling you, my child? You have the look of one who has endured great suffering. If there is anything I can do to help, anything at all, you need only ask. Guess it's not a response. Letting Komori probably keeps it inside as much as she can. The wild roses are dead, father, and I know not what to do. The wild roses? I see. You may speak freely here. We're all friends of the Scions. How could this have happened? And you are certain that Minfilia was among those taken by the Garleans? Let us pray no further harm comes to them. You may stay here for as long as you wish. It is the least I can do for a friend of Minfilia's. I have known her since she was but a child. Well do I recall the day of our first meeting. I swore then to do everything in my power to support her, and I will gladly offer the self-same service to her brother and sister Scions. So please, no matter what you require, you need not hesitate to ask. Marcus, would you come here for a moment? Yes, father. There's the timer on my laundry. Hopefully it wasn't too loud on the mic. If you require assistance, pray speak with Marquez. He is a trifle shy, but I assure you he means well. I should explain. Marquez is a survivor of the Battle of Cartano. Alas, his experiences took a terrible toll upon his mind. Had we not taken him into our care, he would surely have perished in the desert. Marquez, I want you to look after Komori. Do you understand? Yes, Father. Excuse me, Komori. My laundry alarm always goes off twice. Hopefully I muted most of it. Don't know why the laundry always has to alarm twice. I guess it's just a quirk of my drying machine. Dryer, whatever. Excuse me, Komori. Do you have a moment? It concerns this broken horloge, which was found in the pocket of a man brought here for burial. There is something familiar about it, but just what I cannot say. Perhaps if I tinker with the device, it will come to me. However, I lack the proper tools to do so. I would ask that you journey to Camp Drybone in my stead, to obtain a ballpoint chisel and a pair of needle nose pincers. They are often used by goldsmiths, so perhaps they would be the best people to ask. Of course, I do not expect you to foot the bill. Here, take this coin purse. That should cover it. Perhaps this is some kind of way Marquez is trying to help take Komori's mind off of things. I can't really imagine another reason he would send her on a fetch quest when he was the one that was kind of asked to help us. I guess we're doing it the other way around. Not really sure why Minfilia sent us here. I guess just to hide from the Gorlians. She said to take refuge or seek sanctuary or something. It would be boring if we just stood inside all day, so it's probably a good thing that Marquez is sending us out on a task. Guess Shiroi is on the same quest as us. Same haircut and horns. A ballpoint chisel, you say? And a pair of needle nose pincers? Those things don't come cheap, you know. Balls. I mean, yes, that should be sufficient payment. Nice doing business with you. Pretty sure we got cheated. Swindled? Bad deal. Have you brought the tools I requested? Something occurs to me. Please wait here for a moment. No, it's for naught. Though I repaired the device easily, this sensation that stirs within me remains a mystery. But how? How did I do it? These hands, my hands, they moved with a mind of their own, deftly manipulating the clockwork mechanisms. There was no doubt or uncertainty. I knew exactly what to do, as though I had performed the same motions countless times before. Pardon me, Komori. This was a mistake. Please give the horologe to Sister Elunid. The man who once owned it is currently in her care, and I think it best that it be returned to him. I don't know what a horologe is. If there's anything I can do, please ask. Can you tell me what a horologe is? Good day to you, madam. Have you come to pay your respects to this man? By some manner of clockwork wizardry, this strange contraption can precisely measure and follow the 24 bells in a single turn of the sun. It's a clock. We don't have a word for clock? They say strange contraption, so... I'm pretty sure I've seen clocks. At least I have one in my apartment as my main character. Well, it's not important. Never before have I seen such a queer device. You say that it measures the passing of the time? Mayhap they are more common in Garlemald. I'm given to understand that its cities are filled with all manner of amazing technologies. Aka said it belonged to the deceased. Oh dear. You don't suppose that the owner might have been a Garlean spy? It may behoove us to notify the authorities in Camp Drybone. But, mayhap more importantly, how did Marquez manage to repair this device? I knew he had a talent for the trades, but this goes far beyond mending fences and touching roofs. This is still weird. I think I know for a fact that goldsmithing produces robots, little minions, things like these guys, or more like these things. Mammoths, they're called. If you can create a mammoth or a robot or whatever, a clock doesn't seem like it's that much different, or much simpler anyway. And that's like a goldsmithing thing. It's not like a huge, unknown art, like they're treating it. But I guess the writing in A Realm Reborn kind of pronounces the difference between Eorzea and Garlemald as more technologically disparate. I recognize you now, Komori. Allow me to express my deepest condolences for those who lost their lives in the attack. I apologize if discussing this upsets you, but you should know that the bodies of your comrades are presently being removed from the Waking Sands and prepared for transport here. If you wish to leave this work to others, I understand. However, taking part might help you to find closure. I think Komori probably would tell anyone that asks that she doesn't mind handling the bodies. Probably on the inside. Well, she would never tell anyone what she feels on the inside. Vesper Bay is situated quite close to a Garlean base, that one towering in the distance. You could say the same for a lot of cities in Eorzea or the smaller towns around. In fact, everyone is close to some form of danger one way or another, whether it's the beast tribes or whatever. But for the Garleans to still have a kind of foothold in Eorzea like this is still... feels weird with how close they are for an invading force, unlike the beast tribes who are already here. But that's not too important. Yeah, you don't look like one of them church fellas. Not that I'll turn you away, no sir. As you can see, we've got a pile of unidentified bodies over yonder. No one's come to claim them, so off to the lich yard they go. Be thankful you didn't have to go inside and see the carnage yourself. It was the stuff of nightmares, I tell you. Goddamned Imperials. I don't know what quarrel they had with these folks, and I sure as hell don't want to know. The sooner we put this behind us, the better. Say, haven't I seen you around here before? Or do you just have one of them faces? Ah, never mind. In any road, there's a carriage come to haul the bodies to the lich yard, out by the east gate. There's only 8 left to load up, but seeing as I'm exhausted from carrying all the others, never mind to leave the remainder to you. Might want to cover your nose while you work. Some of these folk are starting to turn. Said nobody was here to claim them. I guess that's not too surprising considering the Scions are technically a secret organization. A lot of people probably don't know, or not many people probably know, that they even came here. Or that they were underground in some secret headquarters. Even if people did know, the people that joined the Scions are probably adventurers or wanderers that are far from home, and nobody would ever really hear from again. I believe this all-the-felon woman would stand out guard outside one of the doors. Name character, I think. This Ellison man with the mask, pretty sure he stood around that one woman that was always claiming to be a Scion from the old days. And I think she was always claiming that the masked man was also an older Scion. And of course, Araxia. It always felt strange that we had a sylph join the ranks of the Scions. It was kind of a weird occasion that a member of the beast tribe would join our own fold. But it's always fun, isn't it, to have the various species of a fantasy world come together. But not too long after that, this happens. Never did end up building the motley crew that I wanted in the Waking Sands. What happened to the big fella? Ah, forget it. Just bring the next batch and toss them in the back. I mean, like they'll complain if you're rough. Well, ain't you a strong one? 4 in one trip. Reckon there's no need for me to lend you a hand with the rest then. Quest structure is interesting, if cool. Even if you don't know these people, they still make you walk back and forth, picking them up one by one. If you were taking your time with the base game, which a lot of people don't do nowadays, there would be a lot of faces you recognize, or at least one very obvious one that you would recognize. Though the interesting thing about them is how uniquely dressed they all are. Even the guards don't really look the same as each other. You can tell that they're all kind of unique adventurers, maybe even having their own backstories. A lot of characters maybe even from the 1.0 version of the game. Come on, come on. Let's finish this before I die of old age. That should be all of them. Thanks for the help. I reckon it won't take too long to deliver all the corpses to the lich yard. Even so, you might want to hurry back and tell them our work here is done. I see that you decided to heed my advice. I pray that, in doing so, you found some small measure of peace. The first carriage from Vesper Bay arrived not too long ago, and we've begun preparing your comrades for burial. I had a hand in the initial rites, and I would like you to know that, for many, death came quickly. Rest assured that we will treat them with the utmost respect, and do everything we can to shepherd them to Thal's realm. Thal, huh? Our patron deity. Thal's not very helpful, is he? Although we can perform rites for most of the Scions, there is one whom we cannot accept. We would like you to return this one to her people, the sylphs of Little Solace. It is only proper that she be given into the care of her friends and family, so that they may mourn her in accordance with sylphic traditions. Araxa even had a unique character model. I think the only sylph that we've seen was a leaf mask, or at least one like that. And not too long after, maybe a couple dozen quests after you meet her for the first time. Never see her again. Didn't really get the time to know her, but it felt like something that you would have done. The setup was there. Make friends with a beast tribe member. Have fun adventures together. Something like that. This one is surprised to see Walking One in Little Solace. How can these ones assist Walking One? Norexia, but this one does not understand. Komuxia, this one has heard much wailing. This one would know what has caused such distress. Terrible news, Elder One. Awful news. Walking One has returned to Little Solace, but why? These ones have not requested further aid. Norexia, how did this happen? Explain everything to this one at once. So, not only Norexia, but many of Walking One's friends were lost as well. Norexia went to Thanalan at the behest of this one. Walking One was with Noraxia at the end. Tell this one that Noraxia was brave. Tell this one that Noraxia did not suffer. This one is glad to hear Walking One's words. Thank you for bringing Noraxia home, Walking One. These ones also wish to thank Praying Ones. Tell Praying Ones these ones will remember this kindness. This one demands vengeance. Imperial ones must pay. Imperial ones must suffer. When the time comes for Walking Ones to face Imperial ones, do not forget these ones. These ones would not have Noraxia's death be for naught. These ones will fight. We thank you for your service to the Church and to the Sylphs. You may be pleased to know that, in your absence, we interred the remaining scions in the Lich Yard. Perhaps you still wish to do more for your friends. If so, I would remind you that you have already done so much on their behalf. Please, take a rest and set aside your burdens for now, Komori. I'm not imagining it, Komori. I know I'm being watched. This is different, sinister. It is as if I am under observation. The feeling comes and goes, but I felt it when I last ventured outside. Yes, I know I felt it. Would you look outside for me, please? It will only take a moment. The game looks good in the rain, with the lighting. Sheen on the ground, too. Of course. What a bastard. Get out of here, you. The last thing we want to see. You were attacked, weren't you? Are you unharmed? Thank the gods. I knew it. He was watching me. Why was he watching me? What did he want from me? Did he perhaps know something of my past? If only I could have asked him. I need to think. Please allow me a moment alone. Wait, Father Iliad must hear of this. Will you tell him for me? It's important. I think others may come for me again. Heavens forfend that such a thing should happen on holy ground. Do you have any idea who this man was? Did you notice anything distinctive about his garbs or possessions? Yeah, Garlean. This is Garlean steel. Which means the man who was watching Marquez was... Make haste to Camp Drybone at once. We must summon the immortal flames before more Imperials come.
I fondly hoped that I might be the first to speak with you. Would that I had been so fortunate. At ease, adventurer. I come not on behalf of the Empire. On the contrary, I mean to revive the scions of the Seventh Dawn. And to that end, I have come in search of a legend. The greatest engineer of our time, Master Cid Garland. I have come for you.
I fear you are mistaken, child. He is but a poor soul who bore witness to the horrors at Cartenol. I beg of you, leave us in peace.
Wait, Hear me, Cid. Eorzea needs you.
Cid, was it? Here, these belong to you. I thought you bore the mark of greatness. It seems that I was right. Our time together was all too brief, but it felt as though my son had returned to me. You have brought joy to an old man's life. But it is time for you to help those who truly need you.
Who are you? Alphino Leveilleur, at your service. As a scion of the Seventh Dawn, I stand against our primal and imperial foes, as my grandfather once did. 'Tis no secret what befell our order at the Waking Sands. Word has already spread across Eorzea. The repercussions are far greater than you realize. In the wake of the calamity, the three city-states focused their efforts solely on reconstruction, leaving the scions to combat the primal threat unaided. And lo, we are all but destroyed. Yet even as the nations mourn our demise and abandon what little hope they have left, we cannot forsake our duty, now least of all. The Ixal have summoned Garuda once more, and she torments the people of Kurthus as we speak. Her appetite for destruction far exceeds that of other primals. Worse, in her present incarnation, our Baldessian colleagues believe she surpasses both Ifrit and Titan in strength. Yet, therein lies an opportunity. Were we somehow to defeat Garuda, it would serve as a warning to the other beast tribes that even their mightiest gods can be felled. If we are to face our foe, we must first circumvent the tempest that shields her sanctuary. And for that, we need an airship. Your airship, Sid.
I have an airship?
Yes, Sid, you do. Your very own airship. It was last seen in the skies over Gridania, not long before the calamity, so let us begin our search there.
An airship? My airship? Oh, wait.
Come, let us put an end to the primals. Together, we will show the world that the Scions are still a force to be reckoned with.
They need my airship. They need me.
Oh, I think Omori's probably glad to hear that there is some reason to get out now. I don't think she's the type to sit around and mope all day. Having said that, she might be okay to mope for just a little bit longer. Now's a good time to take a break.